Hey, what's up everyone? Koban Armani 456 here today, recording a little video just talking about autism spectrum disorder. Now the lady that I'm going to have playing in just a moment is going to talk about different symptoms of autism spectrum disorder like executive functioning, and this appears in people who are on the ASPE level, which would still be considered ASD, probably level 1 or level 2. As even if you do have like intelligence and you're self-sustainable in different ways, you still have problems with other things related to executive functioning. And this lady is a therapist, as far as I know. I don't know if she's a psychologist or not. I could be wrong on that, so my apologies. But anyways, check her out. She has a page called ASD Village. And I'm just going to be confirming some things that she says in this video and giving you all a better idea of different symptoms I have, such as ruminating thoughts, executive functioning issues, autism spectrum disorder. Then I also have bipolar disorder and other things as well. So anyways, if you would like to understand the situation a little bit better with these videos and why I have constant ruminating thoughts, which would be constantly being I guess the word is focused on negative things and negative occurrences and trauma, whether it be like similar symptoms of PTSD and whatnot. This video will help out with different answers, and if it does help you get a better understanding of yourself if you have autism spectrum disorder, or a better understanding of the situation, please leave a like and a comment, especially a comment with some feedback, and that would help greatly, because all these people who have wronged me or falsely accused me have taken advantage of these symptoms, and they saw it. Just like this lady is going to talk about later on in the video, that people with autism spectrum disorder, even if some of them do have high intelligence in different fields, they may lack common sense or other things that other people do have strong points in. And that's one of the shortcomings of autism spectrum disorder, which kind of led to the situation of me being manipulated out of lots of money by family members and friends, past friends, because they're not friends, they're hoes. But anyways, alright, thanks for watching and enjoy the video.
Function quiz. 10 signs you presently have some dysfunction quiz. 10 signs you presently have some room for improvement in the area of executive function. Now, in another video, I'm going to cover some tips and advice on how to improve executive function, but this one is just the quiz. Let's get right to it. So basically, you guys know how my quizzes work. The more yeses you have, the more impairments you have in that area, and the more no's you have, then the less impaired you are in this particular area. So executive function, don't feel bad, especially if you're on my channel, you're subbed as one of the fellow Aspies in this community. A lot of us are not so awesome in the executive function area, so it's okay. Love and acceptance and hugs to each of you. Don't feel bad. This is not a shame test. This is a test to help you just figure out one of the many autism traits that you can have, and there's a lot of people that have executive function issues or dysfunction that are not on the spectrum. It's like part of their ADHD picture or something else. So this isn't going to tell you if you're autistic, it's just going to tell you if you have some dysfunction in the area of executive functioning. Question number 1. Do you find because of your intellectual disability, so not talking about a physical disability, but just intellectual disability, that you're not presently able to be self-sufficient financially? So you're relying on others or other systems or programs to get you through your day-to-day needs financially. Number 2, do you often look around your room, your home, or your office and feel ashamed or overwhelmed because of the disorder, the disarray, the mess, so on and so forth? Do you have like a little laboratory of like science experiments growing in the cups that you used like 7 months ago? Just kidding. Okay, number 3.
So yes, I do have those symptoms in regards to being messy at times when I am depressed or in a state of mental stress or anguish. And that's another reason why my dad is right on me being messy at times, But who would be the person causing all that stress and causing mental anguish? It would be him and other people as well involved. Now, I'm not saying that I can't work on it, because I definitely can. As you all have seen in my previous videos, I've had clean rooms when it came to my apartment tour, so I did have a sense of organization and whatnot. But when I'm in the depression phase, or manic depression, I'm kind of in my head more than my physical surroundings. So that's another reason why you kind of end up having scenarios where you basically, just kind of like dwell in your head and kind of forget about cleaning up stuff or taking care of even your own self physically, whether it be like brushing your teeth or just maintaining a clean room or even just eating or sleeping. It's like you neglect your own self at times. But that's why neglect and abuse from other people, like your caretakers or people you live with, is very important, because all that stuff greatly affects your mental state.
Do you find you often have a justification for the chaos around you, and you can convince yourself that once you do this, or once that's done, or once so-and-so does the thing they were supposed to do, that everything's going to be more in order? So you find there's lots of justifications going on that can help you rationalize some of the chaos around you that you're living in.
I have this as well at times, but basically the reason why I've been posting these audio clips is to showcase how my dad will be instigating things. He's an instigator, but then he wants to flip it on me because he's a narcissist. He's a male narcissist, just like my slanderer is a female narcissist. Basically, create the problem, have the solution, create the issues, complain about said issues. And so I do have issues myself. I'm not going to say I don't. I have issues with my anger, impulse control, and then also too, like I said, just maintaining stuff when I am in a manic depressed state. So that's partially true. But I have justifications that are accurate and true. So just letting y'all know.
Have people complained to you that you have ADHD, you're lazy, you're messy, you're unorganized, you're immature, because you're not able to live up to their expectations? Number 5, do you set unrealistic goals, then feel bad when you rarely can accomplish them? Number 6, do you have a fairly poor concept of time? So what time it is, how long it's going to take to complete a task, what time you should tell someone something's going to be done, or what time you're going to be there.
Alright, so for 4, 5, and 6, yes, I do have those issues where, like I said, people complain about me being disorganized, sometimes the immaturity as well. But that immaturity was more so a few years back when I would make jokes with other people, but these people would make jokes about me or make jokes about my relatives, like PK Sparks at one point used to say, "I'm gonna F your mama, Kobe. I'm gonna F your mama, Kobe." And that used to always piss me off. So I'm like, if you're gonna tell me that, why do you have problems with me making jokes about you? Just like Sully would make jokes about me, making photoshopped images of me with cum all over my face, calling me Cum Armani 456 because I had problems saying my name in my older videos, my YouTube name at least. I had kind of like a lisp, so he would make fun of that. But when I would make jokes back towards him, he would get upset because it was immature or something like that. That's why I just don't talk to Sully. I don't like him. I have no interest in being his friend. And if he wants to reconcile, he's going to have to come to me and come in a more reasonable, more truthful kind of way. But in regards to, let's see, what was number 5? I'm trying to recall what number 5 was. I do have a random poor sense of time. It's kind of weird, but not really too strong. But in regards to making big goals and disappointing myself, I mean, hey, look at my YouTube channel. There were so many big goals I had over the span of years I was uploading, and couldn't always keep up with them because why? The depression states that I would be in, from my mom disowning me, from Sully cheating out of me of money, from other people manipulating me and setting me up, like Rakib, And then also my slanderer falsely accusing me of many things I never even did. And I have physical proof of that with text messages that I've posted on my channel, which you can find in the link in the description below. And many other things as well. So when I get a lot of high amounts of stress, I'm kind of like a failure when it comes to my set goals and plans. I just kind of like go into a solitude state, and I just can't really figure things out because I have issues with problem solving, which is one of the issues that she's going to bring up later. I definitely have issues with problem solving, and that's one reason why when you've watched my old Kirby playthroughs, I had issues with that, just like I had issues with other video games that had puzzle aspects to them. And not all autistic people have issues with puzzles. Some people do, some people don't, which is why autism spectrum disorder is considered like a pie chart, to where some people on the autism spectrum may have an A rank in something while others may have a D rank. So keep that in mind.
Number 7. Do you have unrealistic expectations of others in the steps involved in a certain process? So you just kind of can't think things through from start to finish, not sure what to expect realistically, or you find your expectations were not really very realistic. Number 8, are you easily distracted? And I find a lot of Aspies, they're not only easily distracted, but they can justify the distraction made sense and it had to happen. I'm in a relationship with a lot of those. Number 9. Do you find often one thing needs to happen to be done for another, and that leads to another thing that has to happen, and you need to do this other thing to get this done, and in the end, the number one goal that you were trying to make happen, or the number one thing you needed to do doesn't get done because of all of these other steps you had to take to do that stuff. Number 10. Do you find that you make very little progress when you get in organizing mode? So, for example, this is me. This is one of my examples. Often, about once a month, I try to clean out my entire bathroom. So I take everything out of the cupboards, everything out of like my the ensuite bathroom, everything out of the under the sink, everything out of the drawers. Put all my makeup out from my makeup thing, and I don't even wear it. I don't know why I buy it, but I take everything out. And I start organizing, making little systems for, okay, my candles go here, my shampoos go here, and then I get on another tangent, and then all of that stuff ends up staying out for like a week and a half all over my floor, and I can't even barely close my bathroom door. So do you have things like that happen? That you go onto this tangent, you're going to organize something, you get it all out, and then you get onto another tangent. Number 11, do you have trouble maintaining a job or a daily routine? So this can be even like going to school, anything like that, where it's just like maintaining that rigid routine that involves like getting up, going out of the house, and doing a certain thing over and over that you just doesn't work good for you. Number 12, do you have trouble maintaining hygiene? Number 13, do you have poor eating or unhealthy eating habits?
Okay, so I do have a usual rigid daily routine. Usually, if I'm doing well mentally, physically, and not having any manic depression or anything like that, I may have a manic phase where I'm up on a peak or whatever, where I'm like running off with energy. But basically, when I am in the manic depression, that's usually when I am more likely to have issues with keeping my routine, keeping the daily activities, like she said, work, taking care of yourself, your hygiene, or other things like that. So that's something that I do have issues with at times. But like I said, if I'm around an environment where someone is instigating, cursing me out all the time, threatening me all the time, I definitely have a hard time even focusing on anything, because I'm literally thinking, man, I really, really don't want to punch the teeth out somebody right now.
Number 14, do you lean towards being nocturnal or having trouble with, you're staying up too late and then you're sleeping in, or you're sleeping the day away, and then as a result of that, you're not able to get the things done that you need to do sometimes? Number 15, do you have a tendency towards depression? Number 16, do you feel drained often? Number 17, Do you feel unmotivated or like you know what needs to be done, but your body just will not
15,
cooperate?
16, and 17 are definitely very accurate. And that's one reason why I try to be away from stress so that I won't have those issues.
Number 18, do you often have racing and disorganized thoughts? Number 19, do you have sleep issues? So it could be insomnia or whatever, you oversleep even. Number 20, do you suffer with forgetfulness? Number 21, do you misplace things a lot? Number 22, do you find you have a lot of minor injuries and spills and messes and little accidents throughout the day that you have to deal with? Number 23, do you have overall poor time management skills, just from start to finish, poor time management? Number 24, do you have trouble making appropriate future plans, such as for budgeting and what you're going to do with your life and things like that? Number 25, do appointments often get missed, have to be rescheduled, or you show up but you're unprepared for it? You don't have the proper follow-up or follow-through, you're late, things like that. 26, are you in a constant state of shame, humiliation, with poor self-esteem, guilt, and embarrassment being like the forefront all the time of your life? 27, do you have many incomplete tasks right now on the go? Number 28, is it hard to get your thoughts organized enough to get tasks going and then building momentum in them all the way through to completion?
So all the previous ones that were just listed by her, I definitely have issues with, and especially with the last one she just mentioned, because, okay, so I didn't know I had undiagnosed autism at the time when I was making videos on my channel, but I have a lot of unfinished playthroughs, and most of them were related to poor viewership because people wanted to mostly see Sonic or Mario, or just from other outside sources like stress, being disowned, friends manipulating me, all that stuff. So yeah, it can definitely make it a lot harder to complete tasks, especially since I have ruminating thoughts. If you've never heard of that, look up ruminating. It's when you're constantly in a loop to where you're kind of forced to constantly think about all these things that I constantly mention in these videos. And think about a cow. A cow has like 6 stomachs, and it regurgitates its food, brings it back up, chews it all over again. That's kind of like how the thoughts are. You can try to put them away, but then they just come right back up from the stomach, and next thing you know, you're chewing on the same thoughts you don't want to think about all the time, and then that causes issues in executive functioning.
Number 29, are you easily frustrated or overwhelmed? And as a result, you often quit or give up quickly. Number 30, is it very hard for you to stay on track through to completion because of all of the other ideas that you have happening in your head? Number 31, is there an inability for you to analyze and balance priorities? So let's say, for example, you're facing homelessness. So like tomorrow, you know that you have to move out of your house, you've been evicted, you're out. But instead of trying to figure out where you're going to live, trying to, figure out where you're going to go, trying to get some boxes so you can pack, and like they're going to show up tomorrow morning, like knocking on your door. That's going to happen. But instead of preparing for that, you don't know where you're going to go, you're not packed, you decide that today is the perfect day for you to organize through your 7,000 emails and to organize your photo album and do backup of your photos. And that's what you do for the whole day. So that's one example of poor ability to analyze and balance priorities, which is an executive function skill. So that was 31. Number 32, overall not very self-aware. And you disagree with the conclusions other people have come to regarding you. Adamantly disagree. Very much opposed. Not very self-aware. Number 33, you may blame others for their inability to live up to the expectations you have of them. And so let's just say, for example, you're the one expected to pay the rent. So you're the one expected to pay the rent, and you lose your job all the time. What you do is you point your finger at the other person because they're not doing the thing they're supposed to do, which makes it so you can do the thing you're supposed to do. This is one of the things that a lot of individuals that have poor executive function, they have found ways of dancing around taking accountability for it, that it's usually someone else's fault and they're not doing their responsibility, and that's the only reason that you're where you're at in your life at the moment, that it has nothing to do with you. Okay, so that was number 33. Number 34, poor short and long-term memory. Do you have poor short and or long-term
Okay, so most of
memory?
the things that she said were pretty accurate. Like all the stuff that she mentioned was pretty accurate, and even the poor and short-term memory, I do have that because I end up misplacing things a lot, like a lot. And that's one reason why sometimes I do hate cleaning. Like I love cleaning, but I also hate it because sometimes I'll misplace something while I'm cleaning, and I'm like, where did I put it? And I completely forgot, and I could just put it somewhere a minute beforehand, and I'll forget. But my long-term memory can actually be pretty good. I remember a lot of things, including stuff that like Etika said, stuff that my dad said, stuff my mom said, stuff Rakib said, stuff my sister said, stuff Sully said, stuff Max Ezzy said, stuff a lot of people said, Mirandy, all these people.
Number 35, do you have a lack of impulse control quite often, especially when you're mid-task? And if it's a task that you like dread doing, then it's kind of like you're going to be on 5 different apps on your phone and going from this, going to that, because it's just like anything to get you off that task that you're doing that you hate, you'll jump at it. Number 36, inability to quickly problem solve. Number 37, may lack some common sense while yet having a very high IQ. So you're extremely intelligent, but the common
This
sense
one
is
is
not
true
always
like a
there.
mofo. It's actually crazy. My problem solving is very flawed. And that's why I've ran into a lot of issues with manipulation. I could never finish math in high school, and also had trouble in high school. And then not only that too, I'm still having issues with problem solving. It's just one of those things that is really, really hard for me to do overall. And then also, too, she mentioned the other one as well. I have to remember what she said. But yeah, all that was 100,000 gazillion% accurate. I have many issues with that. Oh, the common sense, yeah. So yeah, I can have some intelligence traits, and also too, I'm now well spoken because of all the work I did on YouTube. But beforehand, I wasn't really that social. I could only talk about my narrow interests, which were video games, cars, animals, stuff like that. But anything outside of that, I had lots of trouble with. And yeah, definitely the lack of common sense, but some intelligence in different areas. And I'm very artistic as well. Not autistic only, but artistic as well.
Number 38, may often complicate seemingly easy or straightforward steps and tasks.
This one is very, very true as well. I have this issue big time. There have been people who said that about my Kirby playthrough, to where I was trying to figure out a puzzle, I believe, in either Triple Deluxe or Planet Robobot, to where I was just trying to like overthink this puzzle that was like so easy to do, and then when I realized how stupid I was afterwards, I was like faceplant to the wall. But yeah, I'd always get comments back then on my YouTube videos of people calling me stupid in that aspect. So yeah, that's another symptom there, because other people noticed it when I had undiagnosed autism.
So the ability, so you just find you have a way of making everything kind of more complicated, or making things take way longer because of steps that you're incorporating that maybe you feel are really necessary, but the average person would shake their head thinking like, wow, you're really complicating this. Number 39, just running off of 38, you overthink. You just overthink everything. Number 40, you over-explain. Number 41, this is the last one. Too much thought and not enough action.
Overthink and over-explain are like my middle names. But the funny thing is that sometimes people don't actually understand what I'm saying. Like how some people have said on these videos, they don't fully follow through what's going on. So I recommend checking the previous videos that I uploaded, including the video on my slanderer, and you'll see how I was misled, set up, manipulated, and slandered in numerous ways. And yeah, as you can kind of hear from her describing these traits of autism spectrum disorder, I have these issues, and some people have even said they've been in my playthroughs. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I do have a problem with sometimes getting my point across, and it'll make sense to me, but it won't make sense to other people because maybe I'm missing key details that I already know, but other people don't know.